Welcome to this short screencast which provides an overview of how we use Miro in continuous improvement. Miro is an online collaborative whiteboarding platform that enables remote teams to effectively work together in real time. Each board has an infinite canvas and is freeform, which means you have full control of the design of your boards and how they are used. One key feature of Miro is that it comes with a series of pre-built templates that can give you an inspiration and a starting point for your work. They have a number of templates for tools that we regularly use in CI workshops, such as customer journey mapping, personas, and reverse brainstorming. These templates can easily be modified and tailored to suit the specific aims and objectives of your task or project. It also has a number of design tools such as frames, sticky notes, shapes, and freeform markers, which gives you the freedom to work in any way you like. It has a live cursor tracking feature that also enables you to track what people are doing and see how they're engaging with your board. Miro is also a cloud-based solution that allows teams to work together in either real time or in their own time. Overall, it's a really flexible application that can be used for pretty much anything. It has helped us to replicate how we would usually work in a face-to-face environment the best way we could in an online setting. So since we moved to remote working, Miro has allowed us to continue to run real-time collaborative CI workshops and deliver our training offer to staff across the university. It's been the next best thing to being face-to-face in a room. We've used it for a range of tasks both individually and in teams for our CI workshops, training courses and planning sessions. A key part of the CI service is training delivery. So when we moved to remote working back in March 2020, we had to move our 4-part module continuous improvement course online so that we could continue to deliver it remotely. Miro played a massive role in this as it helped us to recreate the interactive tasks that give our attendees the opportunity to try our tools and techniques, only this time they did them in Zoom breakout rooms. The best thing about Miro is that once we had created one template, we could easily copy and paste it and then modify it to suit the training session we were planning. Since then, we have been able to easily recreate the condensed CI training we run for graduate interns and also create brand new bespoke training sessions upon requests from stakeholders. When it comes to delivering online workshops, you can either run facilitated or collaborative sessions. We found that facilitated sessions work much better for larger groups. You can do a simple screen share to show your participants what you're doing on the board, but ultimately you will have full control over how that board is being used during the session. We tend to use this format whenever we run a SIPOC session, as we use the board as more of a visual aid for our participants and then as a space for us to make our notes and record any outputs. On the flip side, collaborative sessions work much better when working with smaller groups. We tend to use this format in our planning meetings or training sessions as the main purpose of these sessions is to have multiple people interacting with one another and physically contributing towards the outputs of the session. Icebreakers are a great way to kick these types of sessions off, as it introduces people to Miro and gives them a chance to try out the tools and features for themselves before getting stuck into the activities. It also helps to ensure that you have organised your board in a way which makes it clear to participants where they should add their notes or ideas. For example, labelling spaces or areas with people's names, as this will prevent a lot of confusion in the long run. There's pros and cons to both, and which approach you use will ultimately be determined by the task at hand and how comfortable your participants are with using Miro. It's therefore important to consider which type of workshop will be the most effective to not only you but also your stakeholders. When it comes to planning, Miro boards can provide an easily accessible space to create project hubs where you can organise your tasks, share key updates, and track progress. They have a wide range of pre-built templates that can be used to help you run effective remote planning sessions either individually or with your team, just as you would in an in-person meeting. We have used Miro and CI to help us organise work streams for larger scale improvement initiatives and to also brainstorm and forward plan our ideas for the service. However, it can be easily used to manage workflows, brainstorm new ideas, create action plans, and facilitate sprint sessions. Here are some of our top tips when preparing to run online workshops using Miro. We created a Miro bootcamp that gives you an initial introduction to Miro and shows you how to use the basics of navigating, creating and editing objects, and interacting with the Miro boards. This can be accessed via our online toolkit and can be further shared with any of your workshop participants who have not yet used Miro. Another tip is to take the time to fully plan your workshop, as this will help the session to be as productive as possible. Try to create and organise a detailed board that will help both you and your participants to stay on task. Ask yourself, how long do I have for the session? What is the goal of the workshop? What tasks and activities will I include? Do I need to add any guidance notes to the board? Where possible, try to utilise 2 monitors. We find that remote workshops are most effective when you can see your teammates, just as if you were sat in a room together. Try to have Zoom or Teams up on one monitor, and then use the other monitor to view your workspace on Miro. We would always advise that you lock your board down. You can lock specific objects on your board to prevent guest users from accidentally moving frames and templates. This will prevent your session from being disrupted and allow it to run smoothly. To do this, just simply select an object and then click on the lock button that pops up on the toolbar. Another useful tip is to have loads of empty backup sticky notes dotted around your board so that you or your participants have somewhere to quickly add information whilst you're in the workshop. Before you share your board, just double check that you have given participants the correct level of access so that they can either view or edit your board. Open the share window in the top right hand corner, choose a level of access under the option Anyone with the link, and then share that link with anyone you want to access your board. People will not need to register with Miro to access and edit a board. They will appear on the board as a guest editor, whereas registered users will appear with their names. And finally, it's worth considering which account will be better for you. The free account allows you to create as many boards as you like and further share them with as many people as you like. However, you will only be able to edit and collaborate on the 3 most recently created boards. The rest will remain inactive and be locked away in a view-only mode. The CI service have an educational license for Miro, which gives us a lot more functionality and includes an unlimited number of active boards and additional features. As a team, we use Miro on a daily basis and find the added features of the educational plan to be very beneficial to our work. So we would definitely recommend considering which plan would be the most suitable for you and your team. Finally, after delivering over 60 online workshops since the start of lockdown, we've pulled together some of our best practices for delivering online workshops in general. The first is to make sure that you give your participants the time to familiarise themselves with Miro. Sharing the link to our Miro bootcamp or including an interactive icebreaker at the start of the session gives your participants an opportunity to test the functionality of Miro before the session starts. Where possible, always have a co-facilitator. Having someone else join you to help facilitate the workshop will allow you to stay focused and engaged in the discussions to ensure that the desired outputs are being generated. Your co-facilitator will be there to take the notes during the session and be your backup in case you need any extra support. Make sure you consider the timings of your session and the size of your group. Try to keep your workshops to under 2 hours long and have no more than 20 participants involved at any one time. This will help to ensure that you keep your participants engaged for the full duration of the session, which will ultimately help you generate better outputs. And lastly, when delivering interactive sessions for larger groups of people, where possible, try to split them down into smaller breakout rooms and create separate workspaces on your Miro board. This will allow the session to be much more interactive and impactful as your participants will be able to easily work together and contribute to the session. We mostly do this for our training sessions, as pictured in this example, as it tends to avoid a lot of chaos and actually gives people more opportunity to get involved for themselves. So that concludes this screencast. Hopefully it has given you more of an insight into how you could use Miro within your teams to run interactive online workshops. A series of support resources can be found on our CI toolkit, which is linked in the video description below. Here you will find a link to our Miro bootcamp and be able to access more training and guidance via Miro Academy and Miroverse. If you have any questions or would like to know more about CI activities or training, please get in touch via the CI mailbox. You can also find additional updates on what we've been working on by following us on Twitter. Thank you for listening.